Pros and cons of Florida. Now you're gonna find a lot of negativity, especially on YouTube.
The sky is falling!
Because these creators get a lot of views, particularly if it's negative news. That's why the news in general is negative. So you gotta really weed between everything and make sense of what makes sense. Meaning, if they're all negative, why are they still living in Florida?
Why?
Maybe they don't live in Florida, then do they really know the facts? This video, I'm gonna give you my honest pros and cons of Florida. I've lived here since 1993. You can go ahead and take it for what it's worth, but it's my opinion. Let's get going. Now, one of the pros to living in Florida is the weather. Yeah, it's very attractive to many, many people. People come here for the sunshine. I came from up north in Pennsylvania, and I'm telling you, those winter months were brutal sometimes. It was so hard. It would get so gloomy and depressing, and you could really sink into a state of depression by being locked up in your home for days or weeks on end because it's so cold and dangerous to go trying to drive, or the odds of getting ran off the road or slipping off the road because of an ice storm came through, and now you're stuck in a ditch for days on end. It's just really, really sad. A con, of course, the weather can get super, super hot here, and it does, you got to be careful. You don't want to get heat stroke. But I live here still. I know it's hot. There's ways to get around it. I still say that's a overall pro, the weather here in beautiful Florida. Another pro to living in Florida is we have some of the most beautiful beaches. We have some stunning beaches, especially down south in Miami, Naples. Of course, I'm always talking about Daytona Beach, the world's most famous beach. There's also Sarasota and the Keys. If you haven't seen these beaches, come on down. Come take a look. You just might want to stay. And if you do, I know a great agent for you. No state income tax, another pro. Florida is one of the few states with no state income tax, which can lead to significant savings. I think that's also another huge draw for our retirees. Florida is primarily a retiree state. A lot is due to this. A lot is also due to the warmer weather. Again, you don't have to worry about getting stuck inside a snowstorm for days on end, running out of food, or your heat goes out and you freeze to death, or drive off the road into a ditch, and people have been known to be covered with snow and found weeks later or days later. I don't know. It just can be really, really dangerous for seniors trying to shovel their way out and having a heart attack or a stroke. I think that's also why there's so many snowbirds. It's very affordable when you come to think of it. You get a little place that's not your primary residence, let it build equity, come down during those dangerous, scary winter months, and go back home up north when it's not so hard to live there. And lately, I know the weather's been super hot up north, so it might not always necessarily be cooler up north, even in the summer. Another attractive feature to many is all our outdoor activities, young or old. We have activities for everyone. Again, primarily having a lot of retirees come down here, we have a lot of retiree communities where there's activities where you can hang out with people of your age and don't have to worry about, for example, like a 55 plus community. I just had someone else reach out to me saying they specifically wanted a part-time home here in a 55 plus community because they want the activities. The husband has to keep flying back every few weeks. And so while the wife is here, she's not going to feel so alone. And there's a bunch of others just like her she can hang out with and make friends. In my condo complex, same thing happens all the time. I hear the wife will come and say, I love living here. There's so much for me to do. My husband, I love him dearly, but he's a couch potato. He never wants to leave. He always wants to stay inside. And so Florida offers a lot of that. If you're single or maybe your spouse isn't very active, there's tons to do. Even as a solo person, you can go out, you can go fishing, boating, jet skiing, hiking, biking. There's just endless things to do here in Florida year-round. There is a diverse culture here in Florida, which is also amazing, especially foods. You can get any type of food you want. I love a variety of foods. Florida is perfect for that. It has a rich culture scene with influences from Latin America, Caribbean, and other regions. Another pro is Florida is retirement friendly. I've already touched on this. Many retirees are drawn to Florida because of the great weather, the healthcare system, and the amenities. There's always something to do here in Florida. Now, I said this was a pros and cons video, so some of the cons are, let's just address the elephant in the room, hurricanes. Florida is prone to hurricanes. We hear that all the time. And severe storms, which can cause property damage and risk lives. On top of it, it can sometimes require costly insurance. But with that said, again, I was mentioning earlier how up north you can have blizzards and snowstorms come through. How about out west of California? I'm always concerned about my daughter when she talks to me about these earthquakes. Is that place going to drop off altogether one of these days? Anywhere you go, you can have weather problems, tornadoes, all kinds of stuff. So hurricanes is one for Florida. You just got to pick your battles. I don't think hurricanes are so bad because you definitely get enough warning, and 9 times out of 10, especially right here in Central Florida, you don't even have to leave. It ends up being like a tropical storm, aka a lot of rain. Another con is high humidity. I kind of touched on this earlier too when I said the pro is the beautiful weather. Well, the con to that beautiful weather is during our summer months, high humidity. Now this, as I'm recording this, is the end of July of 2024. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. I'm in the shade in a park here in Port Orange, heading to New Smyrna Beach, and I'm fine. I'm not actually sweating to death. There's no breeze, and it's perfectly fine. It's like 83 degrees in the end of July. Low humidity. Now later today in the sun, I will not be there. I will be inside somewhere. Okay, another con can be cost of living. Can be. While there's no state income tax, other costs like homeowners insurance and property tax can be high. I know, again, Florida is not the only state. Look at me, always trying to pitch Florida. I know, I get it. It can be high here, just like any other state, so it's something to consider. You just gotta outweigh your pros and cons, right? And every time a hurricane comes through and tears this place up, things start to change a little. Okay, because like I said, it's a pros and cons. I'm still looking for some cons. And some of the things I hear is sometimes tourists, okay? It is a touristy state. It's a popular tourist destination, but again, it depends where you live. If you're living in the heart of Orlando near the theme parks, yeah, there's going to be a lot of tourists. Cost of living, everything's going to be much more expensive there as well. If you stay, again, somewhere Daytona Beach area, we get very touristy the beginning of the year because of the races. We have the International Speedway here. So there's a lot of races, cars, trucks, motorcycles. It gets a little touristy then. Other than that, it's pretty good. And as a plus to that, in front of the Speedway, on International Speedway Boulevard, 8 lanes. So outside of those few months, it is wide open for us locals to drive all over. They have 8 lanes there to handle the tourist when it's the busiest during those first few months of the year every year. That's it. So they even make it pretty easy to get around. Pest problems. Florida's warm climate can attract pests like mosquitoes, palmetto bugs, which are super gross, or like flying cockroaches. I've been here since '93. I've yet to get used to those. And termites. Here's a tip, don't buy a wooden home. And if you do, get termite protection. Another con, it can be traffic congestion. I mention all the time, I-4 is like a parking lot. That's why when I do go to Orlando, where it can be heavily congested, I go there usually Sunday mornings. I don't know if everyone's hungover from Saturday night or just don't feel like driving. Maybe they're at church, I don't know. It's the best time for me to head over to Disney is Sunday mornings, I found out. Way back, totally different story. But it's okay, I just bring a book on tape and listen to it. So there's parts of Florida that are more heavily congested than others. Of course, like I said, Orlando and Miami. 95 from Daytona, you just drive right down 95, you dead end into Miami. It's like hitting a brick wall. It is so packed down there. I don't know why, for the love of all good and holy, why Miami is so popular. I mean, it's beautiful and all that, but it's super expensive, extra hot down there, and the traffic's insane. Look, if you're looking to move or relocate anywhere inside the United States, go ahead, fill out the form below. I have a huge network of agents, and I'd love to help you get here or anywhere. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.